Hi, I'm Gemma and I wanted to talk to you today about the negativity bias. Recently, I've been really focused on there being two different ways of being in the world. So one is based on fear, and that creates things like stress and illness and disease and depression and anxiety and difficult things like that. And the other is based on love, which creates happiness and joy and peace and health and all those wonderful things. And so when we're working with this idea of living from fear versus living from love, I find it's really helpful just to be aware of the way that your brain works. So our brains are hardwired to pay attention to negative events and bad news. And the reason this is because for the past 200,000 years, we've needed to survive. And so what happens is that this part of our brain has two primary functions. So one is to move us towards pleasurable things or good things or yummy things, and to move us away from dangerous or scary or bad things. And so when you think about it, let's take a good thing like an apple. If you have the opportunity to get an apple and you miss it, then it's not really a big deal. You might go a little hungry, but chances are pretty good that you're going to have a chance to get an apple again. Now let's take the example of, let's say, a saber-toothed tiger. If you run across a saber-toothed tiger and you don't avoid it well enough, chances are it might be game over for you and there would be no more chances to do anything. And so because of this, our brain has hardwired itself to pay more attention to the bad things because they're more likely to get us killed than the good things. So there's this little structure in our brain called the amygdala, and 2/3 of the neurons in the amygdala are designed to pay attention to bad news. So we're kind of hardwired to look out for those scary events. And so the way that that affects us now is that if there's no saber-toothed tigers chasing after us, our brain is still looking out for bad news and negative events. And so this can create a lot of fear and anxiety because we're being bombarded with these types of things every day in our culture. And so when you're looking at moving away from fear and into love, it's interesting to know that it only takes a few seconds for our mind to absorb a negative event or bad news. And it takes at least a dozen seconds for our mind to absorb a positive event or good news. And so you can use this to your advantage. So here's what I think. There are some things in your environment that you can control. So the things that you watch on TV, the music you listen to, the books you read, the people you surround yourself with to a certain extent. And so if you modify the things that you have control over to be the positive things, so surrounding yourself with positive shows and music and TV and books and things that are uplifting and inspiring, then if you have a ratio of about two or three positive things to every one negative thing, then your brain is going to begin to start to pay more attention to those positive things just because those are the things that are going on in the environment. And if you take some time, at least 12 seconds, to really focus on those good things, then they're more likely to be absorbed down into your memory. So that's one way that you can use the neurology of your brain to move away from fear and move into a place of love. Just control your environment to the extent that you do have control over it. So I hope you found this helpful. I know this was really empowering for me when I learned about this, and when I made those changes I found it super helpful. And I hope it's the same for you. I'd love to hear what you think, so please post a comment below or send me an email, and I look forward to our paths crossing again soon. Talk to you later.